All right, take. I found a microphone, so hopefully this should go better. So this is my presentation for my internship experience at Sacred Journey Hospice. So the mission of Sacred Journey Hospice is to provide compassionate physical, emotional, and spiritual support to families and patients while enabling them to live with dignity and comfort as they cope with their issues relating to a life-limiting illness. Now, as I've been at this hospice centers, I find that they achieve this mission very well. They're very nice, very friendly, very accommodating to the patients and the families, and it makes for a very nice overall experience. So, a little bit of history of Sacred Journey Hospice. The hospice center was created in 2001 and it became a real company and incorporated in 2003. There are several offices throughout the state of Georgia, one being in McDonough, another being in Noonan, and a bigger facility where they operate out of called Bright Springs. Their main office is in Valdosta. They do only have two patient care units, though. The first, which is in McDonough, which was already built prior to this year. In the beginning of this year, they built the one in Noonan. So for our first learning objective, it was to develop the communication skills needed to communicate with patients of all types. This one I have completed. I was mainly talking about, hospice patients themselves and being able to effectively communicate with them. But as I went through my internship, I wasn't able to always be with the patients and speak to them because I had other responsibilities. I was often working alongside my volunteer coordinator, so we communicated a lot with the families themselves and the nurses and other staff. I spoke with patients very little, a handful of times when I was in the inpatient unit, and the staff needed severe help, and I would, step away and help them because oftentimes I would be up front instead at working as the receptionist, greeting staff and families as they come in, answering questions, helping them to the patient's room, and help them communicate effectively with the staff and their needs. The second learning objective was to apply the education that I've learned in order to further understand what I want from my career. Going into this internship, I knew that hospice wasn't something that I really wanted to do, but it's something that I had no experience in, that I felt I need to know how this field works. So as I've been there, I've been communicating with all the staff, trying to learn, how this works, how the paperwork works, all the different processes and patient care. So I applied what I've learned from my college courses along with anything medical I know because it's a very medical field. And I applied all that to show that I am trying to learn, that I do want to make a difference. And the staff was very helpful in helping me know what to do, how to do it. As for my third learning objective, it was to familiarize myself with a healthcare setting to know what to expect and what to improve upon. After I'm done with psychology, I do want to continue down this field. My main goal is family therapy, so I'm still going to be working in a healthcare setting. I need to know what to expect from healthcare. Obviously, it requires a lot of paperwork, and I sure did that. Um, I had to look over, type, and file a variety of medical documents. I didn't have much prior knowledge to medical terminology, and I had to quickly step up and learn how to read, doctors' notes, nurses' assessments, all the different types of things, so that these files can be inputted into the correct databases correctly. Again, my volunteer coordinator, she really helped out and told me everything I needed to know. And then once she saw that I understood, she let me go, and she was like, "You know how to do it, go for it. I'll give you some stuff to do, just have it done." I was able to learn a lot about different medical stuff, and I really enjoyed learning about it. Even when I was at home not doing my internship, I was still Googling a whole bunch of things, Googling different diagnoses and illnesses, seeing what they result in, seeing what side effects they have, and stuff like that. Of course, with every job and internship, there are highs and lows. Some of the highs were that there was an amazing staff. Every single one of them was friendly. They were so attentive, so understanding, so helpful. I really could not have wished for a better place to work. They had great hours. They were very accommodating with me because I'm a full-time college student. I'm still going to work, and I'm trying to finish my internship in a timely manner. They were really helpful, offered me days, and worked my schedule. There was a lot of paperwork, but it wasn't boring. There was always something new. There was always problems to deal with because paperwork wasn't always filled out correctly, whether it be from the patient's filling it out, the patient's family, or even the medical professionals sometimes mess up. So learning how to fix that and properly put in what's right was really interesting. Then there was a variety of responsibilities. Like I said, I've dealt with paperwork. I had to make phone calls to patients' families. I've had to write out bereavement letters and cards. I've had to work as a receptionist. I've had to work on support staff in the inpatient unit themselves. So I've been all over the place trying to learn as much as I could. Of course, there's some lows as well. I wish I had gotten paid. It would have been very nice. I worked really hard with the internship. Of course, I don't regret it. But of course, I did have to cut my hours at work to make time for my internship, which was a bit of a struggle because I wasn't used to the lower income, but I really enjoyed the internship. When dealing with hospice, it can be very depressing because you're dealing with the sick, the elderly, the dying, and even the deceased. Well, during hospice care, and you have to learn how to detach detach yourself when these people are going through it, because you don't want to get too attached, and then you start to suffer and your mental health starts to suffer. So you have to learn how to deal with that. There were technical difficulties, like I was saying before. Paperwork sometimes is not how they should be, and sometimes there's issues with the computers themselves in which we couldn't do the necessary activities that we needed to do, or participate in meetings that were pretty important to hospice care, because we deal with, while we are the Noonan office, we're also dealing with the McDonough office, and we are helping patients in both offices and across the west and east side of Georgia, and north, not much south. Before I got there, my volunteer coordinator was very overwhelmed, and I immediately